Well, James Maddison to United interest has been really put into the public by a very good journalist known as John Passy. He works for Midlands Reporter, and you know where Leicester City is located in the Midlands. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, after James Maddison, there is a Dean Henderson hindrance of a transfer that might find himself be at Manchester United next season, however much he never wanted because of the injury problems he's really having, and we're going to tackle into that. And lastly, Casemiro. As I told you that Casemiro played one of his best games ever since returned from suspension. Even Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to give a stamp, or to stamp into all what that we said about Casemiro into that mix. So let's see this video get close to 150 likes, guys. Please and please and please and please, let's smash the like button. After watching, before even completing the video, just smash the like button so to it that it really goes viral. I'm calling in for 150 likes. This video is going to be having like 3,000 4,000 views. Why not us have close to 150 likes on this video, guys? Let's do the reciprocation and let's share the love onto this channel. Now we're having a story coming in from Passy from the Midlands. As far as yes, we are having a story coming in from Passy as far as the Maddison story is really concerned. We are being told that Man United, Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle are interested in signing James Maddison, who will be available for a fee between £45 million and £60 million. That is John Passy from the Midlands. Now, what is behind this? I'm having my own thoughts. My first thought of linking us to James Maddison is Leicester City this time round want to sell James Maddison. That's it. They've made up their mind and they want to sell James Maddison. Every season, James Maddison has always wanted to leave Leicester City, but Leicester City never wanted to sell. And trust me, they are in need of money. Leicester City is having money problems, and I think time has come for them to sell the 26-year-old player known as James Maddison. When you look at his contract situation, it's expiring in 2024, and James Maddison is not willing to extend his contract. That's why he's into the news. He extended his contract in 2020, and here he comes. He's left with 1 year on his contract from the summer, and you'll find himself out of Leicester City. So I think that's the first reason as to why James Maddison is up for sale. He wants to go to the next level. In the summer, Newcastle wanted him. You know, Spurs have always wanted him. Manchester United wanted James Maddison before Bruno Fernandes came in through, but we opted for Bruno Fernandes, and I think we don't regret for the coming in of Bruno Fernandes. You know, because Bruno has gone ahead to be one of the best central attacking midfielders in the Premier League ever since he came in through. If I were to compare with Maddison, Bruno Fernandes is really a much more better player than James Maddison. But I'm not watering down the efforts of James Maddison. I believe if he comes at Manchester United, will be a very good player, because a player that Arteta wants, Pep Guardiola, you know, shows you that he is really a very top class player, and I really like the way he plays his game of football. But there are hindrances to his game. One, it's injury. You know, however much he doesn't take long with his injuries, but I believe he's an injury prone player. That's it. He's an injury prone player, according to me. Now, let me show you just this season. Let me bring his injury record. This season only, I want to show you how many times this guy has been injured. That's my only hindrance for him to come to Manchester United. If at all we can sign him, the better, but I'm really not a fan of him because of his injuries. Now, this season only, in 2022, right, he got a hip injury that kept him out for 5 days, you know. Then he got an injury in November that kept him out for 8 days. On 23rd December, he got a knee injury that kept him out for 24 days. So he has gone ahead to miss 8 games of Leicester City this season. That is it. But in 2021, he got a hip injury that saw him be out for 50 days. That's it. He even had an injury that saw him go out for 11 days. You know, that is my worry about James Maddison. His injuries are really unpredictable, and he has hamstring, knee injuries, hip injuries, you know, head injuries, unknown injury, you know, ankle injury. So to me, I love the player. That's it. I love the player, and I've always thought of him as one of those players that can come in at Manchester United and obviously get the job done and dusted. But with his injuries, I'm really pissed. Let's see how he has been performing for the previous 2 seasons. In the season of 2021-2022, James Maddison played 35 Premier League games. That is okay. If he can come in, that's one of the things that can really make me turn a little bit of my thoughts on getting him at Manchester United. That if at all he can average 35 games in the Premier League, all right. He played 35 games in the league last season. He scored 12 goals and 8 assists, 20 goal involvements. That is great for any central attack midfielder. Then this season, he has only played 25 games, 9 goals and 7 assists, meaning that to equal his tally of 20 goal involvements, he's left with 4 goals and assists. If at all he can get them, he'll find himself making 20 goal involvements. He's a very good player, and I think if at all you bring him at Manchester United, you might see him as a Bruno understudy. That's it. But one thing I like about him, he's a very good set piece specialist. Secondly, he is a man who creates very many goals. That's it. He can play off the left. He can play as a left forward where Rashford plays. He can play as a right forward where Anthony plays. He can play as a central attacking midfielder where Bruno Fernandes plays. He can also play in a double pivot. That is James Maddison for you. And I really like the player. But I think the other reason that most of us are not really looking at is Ten Hag, when he came into his first season, never signed English players. And we are having really few English players in our squad, you know. When you look at Harry Maguire, who might be leaving, Aaron Wan-Bissaka will stay. There is Luke Shaw. There is Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. I think those are the sounding 5 English players we have in our team, meaning that out of the 5 or 6 players that Erik ten Hag should sign this season, he should sign a minimum of 2 English players. I think that's why you'll see United linked to very many English players. That's it. Because we have to go ahead and really do the needful to really get in a player. Or get in players who are really English, because we are not having enough English players into our squad. So Ten Hag will find himself in a position of really being forced to really sign English players. And if at all he's at 45 to 60 million pounds, with 1 year left on his contract, if you get Maddison at 40 million pounds, it will be a bargain. It will be a bargain because his talent is really immense. This player is wanted by Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, you know. Now look at Spurs. Newcastle are really interested in him, and I think Newcastle were willing to pay 60 million pounds to Leicester City last season, and I think Leicester are regretting why they never really went ahead to get hold of that money, because they might find themselves in relegation zone or being relegated this season, and they might miss out on this player. And you know, when he's relegated, he'll go like for 30 or 40 million pounds or even 25. When you look at Leicester City, they are 18th with 29 points. So they are left with 5 games to play. Can they really find themselves into or staying in the Premier League? Because the moment they get relegated, they lose these players on a chip. They are playing Everton today. That is Leicester City. That is the relegation battle again. They have to play against Fulham. They have Liverpool. They have Newcastle. And they have West Ham. So, do you see them surviving? I think if at all they are relegated, then very many teams will opt for James Maddison because they'll be wanting to get this player on a chip. So, we can't wait to see how that really unfolds. But let's talk about this other player who Ten Hag talked to in the December transfer window to come to Manchester United and return from loan and obviously play part into our season and said no. That is Dean Henderson. Now, Samuel Lucas, correspondent of United for the Manchester Evening News, has told us that Dean Henderson will require an operation on a thigh tear that is expected to keep him out until August. Scans revealed in January he would suffered a grade 2 tear in his thigh and was expected to be unavailable for between 4 and 6 weeks. But looks like things have gone worse and is going in for an operation. And this is the lad who has never wanted to really come at a team like Manchester United and be an understudy for David De Gea. And him undergoing a surgery will keep him out until August. And we don't know when he's going to return in August, but August will be the last month for the transfer because the transfer will end on the 31st. That is it. 31st of August. That's when it will going to return. That's when it's going to end. Meaning that Dean Henderson won't have enough time to secure himself a team that can see him, that can field him as a first-choice goalkeeper, as he has always wanted. And this is really a very big blow to Manchester United. Why? This is one of the players we looked at that would have gone ahead to sell and really raise close to 30 or 40 million pounds. But as it stands, we aren't going to do that. He's really going to be injured. And remember, even last season, I think the other summer of 2021, when he was in the Euros and got a hip injury, he returned and obviously found himself injured, and then he got COVID. So, as it stands, Dean Henderson is really one of those goalkeepers that I think is talented, but his arrogance is costing him. But if he believes that he can't be at Manchester United, then he should be sold. Though this is a very huge blow for us. Some good money is going to be missed out on this player because teams like Tottenham Hotspur, we are looking at signing this player. If at all he ended this season fully fit at Nottingham Forest, very many teams would like to cash in for him and would have gone ahead to get in some good money from him. But you never know, that might act as one of the positives to Eric Ten Hag to have another goalkeeper of a very good quality on his bench, because Dean Henderson will have nothing to do, because however much he'll pushing in to really leave and go, he'll have no chance to go because no team will be willing to sign him because he's returning from injury. And his injury record is really bad because even in 2021 he found himself injured. That is Dean Henderson for you. So that's the story coming in from Samuel Lucas, and Dean Henderson is really out until August, meaning that he won't even go with the United to the preseason in America. Now, what decision will Eric Ten Hag have to make into that scenario? I can't tell. Let's wait and see how that's going to happen. Let's talk about Casemiro, the midfield Geno, who really commanded the heartbeat of the midfield or the engine room very, very well yesterday. And this is Casemiro. Ten Hag has said yesterday was the Casemiro we have seen all season. His leadership is so important for us. Others go with him. He's an example. And I came out and really said this. That's why I told you he's my man of the match. Lindelof had a very good game. I don't underestimate his game. He really played very, very well. But he found himself in a situation of having Casemiro in front of him. And Casemiro made lots of blocks. You know, the goal we score, he has a hand in it. And he even hit the crossbar, if at all you remember very well. That's it. He got that ball, I think it was from Sancho, and then he curled it past the goalkeeper. But what saved the goalkeeper was that ball rattling off the crossbar. So to me, he was the best player in the field of play. And when you look at the performance he put in through, Casemiro was really, really, really great. And Eric Ten Hag is also gone ahead to agree with me that that is the best game Casemiro has played ever since he returned from suspension. So, what are your thoughts about James Maddison to United interest? Then Casemiro's best game ever since returning from suspension. Do you agree with Eric Ten Hag, yes or no? And lastly, Dean Henderson's injury blow. To me, I really look at it as a very huge blow to us because we would have gone ahead to get in more money for that player, you know? But no team can cash in for him. So, I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rock and David remains my name. Spend your Labor Day well. Enjoy your holiday. And bye-bye. 5-finger salute to the viewers of this channel. Me out. Don't forget to subscribe and say a prayer, please.